This is another video for all of you who are learning from my guitar books and doing so well. It's just such a blessing to be part of all of your journeys and to see everybody progressing so well. A few people I'm especially making this video for would be my good friend Wes near Dublin. He had a weaker third finger which we had to identify. So Wes, the good news for you is that today you will find it a lot more interesting. We had quite a boring exercise last week, but it doesn't matter. It gets the job done, and that's our goal here, is to become competent guitar players. But you will find today more interesting. Also for Joe, who's probably in New Zealand at this stage, my friend Lynn in London, who is doing very well on guitar, and for Mike, who is in County Laois, who I just might hopefully meet next week, all being well. Before we go any further, could you pause this video for a second and just get your capo? And when you have it, I want you to place it on the first fret. Just pause for a minute and I'll wait. Okay, for anybody playing guitar a few weeks or a few months and especially struggling with sound, when you're learning a new technique, it's so much easier to actually put a capo on the first fret. It gets the strings much closer and it will encourage you so much more when you get a better sound. So for anyone who hasn't done this before, your guitar starts here. So the old second fret becomes your new first fret. So the primary goal here is to get you strengthening your weaker third finger more. Many of you who watched the video last week saw that your third finger was actually weak, and it's helping you enormously because we need four fingers of equal strength to play guitar well. You can see the way my fingers move effortlessly, every one of them. In the even bar chords I make look to me it's all very easy because I'm technically 100% correct. So everything I teach you here will be the same. So if you can copy me, thumb on top of the guitar over the second fret. If you want the professional way, it's very lightly touching the sixth string. Very lightly. I don't want that to sound. Notice the triangular space at the bottom here. This is one of the great secrets of playing guitar. I would say the most important thing you will ever learn about your chord hand is maintaining this triangle for all your open chords, which is about 33% of all chords you will play in guitar. And the third thing I want you to do here is now not to close your hand in, maintain your thumb triangle and add your third finger tip onto the second string, third fret. It will be strengthening following any of you who were doing the exercise last week, the weak third finger exercise. So third fret, and if you want precision, middle of the fret, not corner of the fret, as many people will tell you, middle of the fret. This little space we've left here will be invaluable when you're changing to G chords. Do you see the way I'm able to use it, or C add 9 chords? Middle of the fret. So precise here, third finger tip on the middle of that fret. So I could play, if I had time, I could play off 1,000 songs for you here in rhythm guitar without moving that finger, without moving that triangle, and without moving that thumb. Now, I know some of you don't believe me, so that's fine. I'm used to not being believed, but let me just turn my guitar and I'll prove this to you another way. Just bear with me for 1 second. Let's look at this from behind. There was the thumb triangle, there's the third finger. Okay, so here's the song. I'm going to move the capo. This is just coming off the top of my head, Wonderwall by Oasis. Another one comes to mind, Sweet Home Alabama. Another one comes to mind, Free Falling, Tom Petty. Now, I hope that convinces the unbelievers. I could have done 1,000 songs, that's only 3. That's only 3, I could have done 1,000, and I was in that thumb triangle, third finger position without moving them. That was one of the songs. What was the other one? Wonderwall. That position. So, do you see? didn't actually move them. So to get this into your guitar playing, and you can play millions of songs, not to mind thousands, millions of songs from this hand position. So thumb and top, triangle, third finger. From that position, we want to do a D chord. So you're going to add your first fingertip onto the third string, second fret, somewhere near the corner if you can, not in at the corner, but somewhere near it. And second fingertip onto the first string, second fret, that's a D chord. Usually you strum the bottom four with D, but if your thumb is muting, you're free to strum all six. You don't have to worry about this beginner's type of sound. Professionals would always mute the sixth string in a D chord. That's what the X means in your chord boxes, really. It means to put your thumb on top and mute it, not to avoid it and strum four. That's what it really means. From here, could we take off the first finger and the second finger together and bring your first finger up to the fourth string, second fret, and you can strum again all six. This chord is an A7 sus4, very, very important guitar chord. And bring it back down one, and bring your second finger back onto the first string to D. So can you see how you've gone from D to A7 sus4 without moving your thumb, without moving your triangle, without moving your third finger? While I think of it, if you're ever learning a guitar chord, it's always better to learn minimum two at the time, because the real payoff here is the bit between the chord. It's not the actual chord. I'm helping you with your chord changes. If you notice how good my changes are and how accurate, but if you saw this from behind or from there, you'll see that I'm not actually moving my hand at all. You look at all the beginners and they're all like this. So at this point, it would be a good idea to pause your video and just work D, A7 back to D. For about 1 minute is all it takes. It's an easy change to get. Okay, so you're back. You've got that. So let's continue from the second chord here, A7 sus4, this chord. So can you bring your second fingertip over to the fifth string, third fret, and just add it there? That's a C add 9 chord. And if you take it off, you're back to the A7 sus4. Very important chord change when you're playing guitar. You'll use it thousands and thousands of times. C add 9, A7 sus4. Notice again the thumb and the triangle and the third finger haven't moved. If you want to hear the sound of this chord, you can strum it. Take it off, the A7 sus4 with there, the D before it. From here, can we take off the first and second fingers? Bring your second fingertip up to the sixth string, third fret, to press it. Also, if you want it professionally, just make sure that's muting the fifth string. You won't hear the fifth string sound on a strummed G in most professional recordings. It's brought in for runs, but not for strums. Do you see how cleaner that sounds compared to? It's a bit cloudy. And also add your little finger onto the first string, third fret. That's G chord. You will strum 6, but your audience will hear 5 because this one is muted to get this sound. Not this that you see in the beginner's books, that's clouded. This one. It's a clean sound. The first chord of a song called Take It Easy by the Eagles is a great example of a very clean sounding G chord. They do it differently, but the fifth string doesn't sound. The fifth string never sounded. If it did, it would. See how cloudy and muddy it sounds? So silence the fifth string from here on if you're playing G in any song as you're strumming. It's great for bass runs, but not for strumming. Okay, from G chord, if you watch this, again, I'm not moving this finger. If your third finger is still jumping, you can actually hold it with your first finger. I remember I had to do that when I was learning guitar. Take off the little finger, bring the second finger right back down to the first string and the first finger over it to the third, and you're back to where we started on the D chord. Now, I still haven't moved my thumb, I haven't moved my triangle, and I haven't moved my third finger. If you watch this, there was the 4 chords. And all I'm doing is just moving my fingers. That's professional technique. And even if you're beginner or learning a few weeks, you're better to do this right from the start, because it makes guitar playing so much easier long term. I was with someone in a rehearsal yesterday evening and playing guitar 30 years and still doing this. And late on every chord. And you can get this, even if you're a few weeks into guitar, you can have this and you will never change back. If you want evidence-based proof of this, turn on any great guitarists, Neil Young, Eric Clapton, Jimmy Page, all the greats, Mark Knopfler, every one of them, without exception, have these skills. So it's a great investment of your time to do it. The songs I was playing, the song I would suggest you practice for this is Free Falling, because it's a great song for a sing-song, and it's well within your scope, even if you're playing guitar a short time. Your capo will go on the 3rd fret. While we're here, I'll give it to you now. Capo on the 3rd fret. This song is also in my guitar book there, How to Play Acoustic Guitar, in around page 85, I think. D chord, which you saw earlier on. You will do 1 downstroke on that. And without moving your thumb, triangle, or this finger, you will go to a G chord, 1 downstroke. That's silence. Again, Free Falling is a great example of it. But then you will do the G again, and the D, and the A7 sus4. And that gives you the whole song. You repeat that from start to finish. D, G. I hope you can hear the song there. When you're skilled at all of this, then you can remove your capo and you can get this into the open. It's harder when you're learning, but it makes it much easier when you've all this got and you're going into your open guitar for the likes of Sweet Home Alabama. So it just makes it more difficult when you do it straight in without the capo. There's a lot of that, which is very frustrating for a beginner. But with the capo on, you start getting your sound quicker, which is very, very encouraging. That's all for this video. Thank you everybody for watching. I hope it helps. And from now on, I will be continuing to post at least 1 video a week to help you with